It's interesting to see the types of things that couples do to try to motivate one another. And what I found is that it's really not as complicated, which is the case for most people in marriage, as they decide that they're going to complicate it as opposed to making it the simple steps. Doing the things that you did when you first were dating one another to get the other person to want to be with you. It all comes back to that. I'm not saying marriage is easy, and I'm not saying marriage is simple. I'm just saying that we overcomplicate what shouldn't be that complicated. I found in my life and in all my research and really all the years that I've been helping couples, I found that there are two real main motivators and drivers that both men and women have. It's going to sound simple, it's going to sound easy, but then again, isn't it just the simplest shifts in our lives that usually carry the maximum weight? So the two main drivers that I've found for women typically are, number one, security. They just want to feel secure, and really secure in four main areas: spiritually, financially, physically, and emotionally. And when they feel that security from you guys, they will magically not have as much stress. They will feel closer to you, more connected. Let's go back to when you were first dating. That's why they chose you, because they thought at that time, whether it's shown itself to be true or not now, but they thought at that time that you would be somebody who would secure them in those ways. And the second thing I've noticed, and the motivator that I see for women, is validation. Validation in knowing that whatever they choose in life and how they're doing it is right and is good, and you support it. Whether they want to be a stay-at-home mom with 13 children, or if they want to go out into the workforce and dominate corporate America, they just want to know that you, as their husband, validate them and validate their decisions. Some of the biggest arguments that I know that we've gone into is my doubt of Shannon's way that she wanted to do something with the children, ways of either discipline or school or whatever it might be. When I didn't validate her is when we came into the most challenges in our relationship. Now for guys, a lot of people will say guys will be easy, and for the most part we can understand why. But really there's two main motivators that guys want. The first one is to feel like what I call the Superman or the superhero, or just your hero. They want to know that they're the knight in shining armor, that they have saved your day, that they are your Superman to your Lois Lane. You know, I used to teach a principle about praising men and being their Wonder Woman, in the sense of how in wonder you are of what they're doing. Not in a patronizing way, but in a way that made them feel like what they were doing was helping you, saving you, rescuing you. Now, I don't want a bunch of guys who are rescuers, and that's not my point. My point is that guys need to feel like they are the superhero. In my lessons that I taught before, I used to teach about coal miners. I think coal miners have one of the toughest, most difficult jobs, and I could never imagine being a coal miner. And I grew up doing concrete, so I know hard work. And I would say this, I'd say, if I was a coal miner though, I know that every day I walked out that door, Shannon would say to me, Dino, go get him. You're going to do great today. I'm so grateful for what you do. You're an amazing coal miner. You're the best coal miner I know. And when I came home that night full of soot and dirt, she would greet me as I came home and said, Dino, you're the best coal miner. I'm so grateful for you providing for our family and being a great example to our sons and our daughters of what hard work is and what a great guy you are. You're the best coal miner I know. And you know what? I would be the best coal miner. And I wouldn't be a coal miner for long, because I'd do so well at my job, I'd become the manager. And someday I might even own that coal mine. All because my wife made me feel like I was her Superman. It sounds simple, but think of the last time that you felt like, or you made your spouse feel like, your husband feel like he was your superhero. And the last thing is physical intimacy. Now this is interesting for a lot of guys, because a lot of guys would just say sex. But what I found over the years is that sometimes you have situations where you're not gonna have the sex, where maybe physically it's not working for you. But that satisfaction of being physical with your spouse. Us guys, we're touch starved, we're physical starved. We don't touch each other unless we're playing football, right? We don't go around and hug one another as much as women do. We're not touchy-feely that way, most guys anyway. And so the way they need that is from their spouse. And wives, if you give your husband physical intimacy, and I'm talking touching, I'm talking caressing on the hand, and yes, I am talking sex. If you've seen any of our other programs before or seen any of my blog posts, you know that we are big believers in sex 3 to 5 times a week. That's what's going to make a marriage thrive for a plethora of reasons. But in this case, a guy needs to know that he's wanted and he's desired. Ladies, there are so many things going on in your husband's mind about what he's not doing right, what he is lacking in, and his own self-esteem. And I gotta tell you specifically when it comes to the way that he makes love to you or the way that he is physically intimate with you. So be willing and try to understand more that when he's getting what he needs in that area of his life, he's gonna be more motivated in life. As I mentioned just a moment ago, not all of you guys are able to sexually perform, whether it be a physical thing or mental thing or whatever. But there's still power in the physical intimacy between a husband and wife. Getting a hug from your wife, being touched, kissed, caressed. That adds a lot of power for us men. These are motivators that really help you get what you want out of your relationship. If you can look at those motivators and I promise, if you just focus on those 2 motivators, just for your wives, making sure that they know that what they're doing means something and that they're being validated. And number 2, that you're going to do whatever you can to secure them, that you are going to help them feel the security they need. Even if they're a strong, powerful, wonderful women, which all of your wives are, you letting them know that you're there for them, that their security is secured with you. It's going to do wonders. And ladies, if you just make your husbands feel like the supermen that they are, to make them feel like they are the hero that they wish they were, and if you make them feel physically intimate, if you give them that physical satisfaction, the motivation in both of you will go off the charts. The little things that you fight over, the frustrations that you have with one another will suddenly just disappear. It really is the only 2 things that you will ever need to know about your spouse and how to have a powerful, amazing, wonderful marriage is right there. Understand your motivators, focus on them, and focus on feeding them to your spouse. Hey, thanks for joining us today on our marriage message. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed this new format. If you did, make sure you share it with your friends and family, and definitely subscribe to our channel. Thanks so much. We'll see you on the next Marriage Minute message. If you did, please feel free to share it on your Facebook and your YouTube. I just spit, so I'm gonna do that over again.